that the justice system made a mistake, but that mistake can never be undone. There will be no apology that could give your life back and no appeal that could fix the damage. That is the reality of the death penalty. It is the only punishment that permanently removes the possibility of correcting a wrongful conviction. Since 1973, more than 190 people on death row in the United States have been exonerated. That means nearly 200 people were almost executed for crimes they did not commit. Because capital punishment is irreversible, we must ask an important question. Should the death penalty be abolished? I believe it should because it risks innocent lives, fails to deter crime, and raises serious moral concerns. The death penalty creates an unacceptable risk of executing innocent people. At least 1 in 8 death row inmates have been exonerated since 1973. Wrongful convictions are often caused by false eyewitness identification, prosecutorial misconduct, and inadequate legal defense, especially for poor defendants who cannot afford experienced lawyers. One powerful example is Anthony Ray Hinton. He spent nearly 30 years on death row for a crime he did not commit. In his testimony, he explains how corrupt officials and racial bias led to his conviction. Even though he was eventually exonerated, the years he spent waiting to die can never be returned. No system should have the power to make a mistake that steals decades or ends a life completely. Even one wrongful execution is too many. Supporters of the death penalty often argue that it deters violent crime. However, research has consistently found no conclusive evidence that the death penalty actually reduces crime. In fact, states without the death penalty frequently have similar or even lower murder rates than the states that use it. This is because many violent crimes are committed in the heat of the moment. People acting out of rage, fear, or desperation aren't stopping to think about legal consequences, let alone the death penalty. If a punishment does not prevent crime, then it fails in one of the justice system's main purposes. Life imprisonment without parole achieves public safety without pretending to deter crime, where deterrence simply does not exist. Life without parole is a far safer alternative. It keeps dangerous individuals off the streets while eliminating the risk of killing an innocent person. Unlike execution, a life sentence allows the justice system to correct mistakes if new evidence emerges. Accountability does not require death. It requires responsibility, fairness, and protection of society. Beyond practical concerns, the death penalty raises serious moral and ethical issues. Many people believe that no government should have authority to take a human life. A justice system should protect life, not destroy it. When the state becomes an executioner, it risks crossing the line from justice into vengeance. Even more troubling is how unevenly the death penalty is applied. Race and income play a significant role in who receives a death sentence. Defendants accused of killing white victims are far more likely to be sentenced to death than those accused of killing people of color. Poor defendants are also at a major disadvantage because they often lack access to experienced attorneys and investigative resources. As one quote states, the opposite of poverty is not wealth. The opposite of poverty is justice. A punishment that depends on race or financial status cannot be considered truly just. Some supporters argue that the death penalty provides closure for victims' families or that certain crimes are so horrific that the execution is the only appropriate response. While this belief is understandable, closure is not guaranteed. Many families report that years of trials and appeals only prolong their pain. Life without parole offers certainty and finality without decades of emotional turmoil. Additionally, there is no reliable evidence that executions deter crime more effectively than permanent imprisonment. Justice does not require killing another human being. Even one wrongful execution completely undermines the claim that the death penalty delivers true justice. The death penalty is a deeply flawed system. It risks innocent lives, does not deter crime, and raises serious moral and ethical concerns. While some argue that it delivers justice, its irreversible nature and unequal application outweigh any perceived benefits. By abolishing the death penalty, society can move towards a more fair and humane justice system, one that values life, protects the innocent, and prioritizes accuracy over irreversible punishment. Thank you for listening. Any questions?